So I developed this t-shirt cannon, and the biggest thing that was important to me about this t-shirt cannon is I wanted it loaded, because I really love double-barreled shotguns, and I love, you know, the Mad Max style shotgun. I love that look. So this was a huge challenge, is to figure out, okay, how am I going to make this? Because this was the design element I wanted, and it was, I'm not going to make it if I can't make it breech loaded. So, and the other cool thing about this is, yes, you say, oh, it's really big, but I've got a pull pin here. I can pull that, separate that, unscrew the tank, and it breaks down into 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. It also unscrews. My friend RJ, who does a lot of woodwork, made the frame, so it unscrews and the mechanic parts are in there. I just had to replace a lot of the stuff inside, actually, because a lot of the stuff doesn't transport well. So suggestion, use lots of padding when you're making stuff and transporting it, because you never know who's going to touch your luggage, and it's horrible. So this was a lot of fun and really interesting. I think a lot of times when I'm making something, because I have specific ideas. So I've sacrificed, both with this and the net cannon, I've had to sacrifice some functionality in order to achieve the aesthetic that I really wanted. And this really went more with the M79 grenade launcher that made popular in NOM. It kind of turned out more something like that. But again, I just love that. I mean, come on, isn't that cool that you just open that up and chink, stick a t-shirt in. We've got our t-shirts pre-rolled with rubber bands, which then make them torpedoes. It's a little more dangerous, but they shoot a lot further and harder. But also you just stuff a t-shirt in and it kind of goes a little bit and then opens up like a parachute. So that's kind of nicer and daintier. So I thought that was a cool look. So that's how that gets loaded. But
what's the range on a rolled t-shirt?
You know, I haven't measured. I mean, we've really only had this at one event, and that was at Wild West Con. But I would say probably further, yeah, probably further than this. So probably, and it depends on the PSI as well. So I think you can go 10 feet, and we can probably, I don't know if we've gotten 100 feet. I think we've probably gotten 100 feet. So it depends on the PSI you do. I really don't want to go over 100 PSI, because it's, yeah. But the important thing I think about this is there's a blow-off valve right here, which is set for, I think, 115 or 125. So if the pressure ever gets that much, it'll actually pop that out. So it's a safety thing. So, and then the portable boiler unit, which Lady Potts is wearing with the net cannon, that plugs into here in order to power it up. So that's kind of that guy. So it's a lot of fun, and I just love to shoot from the hip. So, all right, we have about a couple minutes left. Are there any questions people have? Sorry, I should have left more time for questions. Yeah.
Wait, I know that you guys have a little bit more of a higher quality and stuff like that, and more things to pull from. But what suggestions do you make for just like, you know, starting out, making a costume, making something? Any idea of places to go, things to do?
Places
find it on the cheap. Find junk.
That's a lot of questions right there.
Sorry.
Which one? I would say definitely. You missed the program this morning. Did you go to the program this morning at 10? Oh, that we talked a lot about places to go and where to get things. I would say if you're just starting out, is to find a character or a design idea or something that really interests you and attracts you. I think it was Sean in the program this morning or somebody said, if you like NASCAR, if you love NASCAR, then go with that. If you love NASCAR and steampunk, all right, well then kind of make, you know, work with that. And I think that's a really important thing, is to sort of combine an idea of something that you love. I mean, yes, you can have a general steampunk look, but I think if you focus on sort of you know, a career path, I don't know, look at the sort of classic D&D character creation type stuff, sort of finding elements of building a character. I think that's a great way to start with the design, because then you'll get ideas from there. So that's one thing I would suggest. Anything else? Yes?
The end of the last episode was leading up to a story. Is there anything you can tell us about season 2?
Nope. Watch. We've had a lot of talks about season 2. Actually, I'm going to take a poll from you guys. And part of the thing is we really wanted to keep the episodes tangible and easy. I mean, if you watch everything, you don't have to watch them in order, but you can kind of see the characters develop. And that sort of happened naturally as well. But we wanted to keep it so you can send it to your office mate and just watch a funny 3-minute thing. But if you really get involved, you can watch it all and get a little hints, especially the last 3 or 4 episodes. There's crossover things as well. For instance, you know, the zombie cleans up episode. This is a cool little behind the scenes secret. When we come in at the end of the zombie episode, we're all burnt up and exploded. That's what happens at the end of the season finale. So remember, when we're leaving for the zombie cleanup, we have a lycanthropic call. The last episode is that adventure, which is kind of fun because you think you're going out on that adventure with us. No, you're stuck at home a zombie. And I think that episode really developed because we wanted to start maybe developing more storyline and more characters, because a lot of people were asking about that. And like we know, we still want to keep the new episodes tangible, so you can just watch one and get it and enjoy it. But I think we want to start adding little bits of storylines. So let me ask you guys: do you like that? Do you want to keep things? Would you like to see things as sort of one-offs, or do you want to get a little bit more out of the characters in the world and see more development? What do you guys think? More development? Okay. I think that's the general consensus from folks. So great, that's a bigger challenge. Thanks, guys. But that's great. That'll be a big challenge. So, and that's our villain nemesis that showed up, you know, at the end of this one. So you'll see him again. And if anyone actually knows that actor, friend of ours, you know who it is. But we're trying to keep him a little secret. So, any other questions? Yes, sir.
Tie all the fanciful contraptions to the characters.
How do we tie them to the characters?
Yeah.
Um,
The fanciful contraption's nice, but if there's no relation to the characters that's carrying it around, it's not as effective.
Right, and that's sort of how some of the items get developed. I mean, it's, you know, the plunger launcher, for instance, this was something that I just kind of wanted to make. And as it was developing, I was realizing my character was kind of, my character developed into this sort of, I don't want to say non-violent, but non-lethal. And so I'm not only just the Ghostbuster, I'm the non-lethal weapons expert. So I thought, okay, if you notice, I don't carry a gun. I don't want to carry a gun, because to me, that was something that was very different. A lot of steampunks carry guns. I thought, okay, how can I be a little different? I won't carry a gun. Sure, I've got stuff that's very gun-like, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't shoot bullets, or it doesn't shoot, you know, rays or something like that. So that was sort of, the items sort of developed as I was developing the character. And that's really something that we, I can talk to you more about that later, but anyway, thank you guys for coming. I need to wrap it up for the next panel. So thank you guys very much.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.